Moses Moody is staying with the Warriors. Moses Moody just signed a 3-year, $39 million extension to stay with the Warriors. If you watch this page, you know the other day, I talked about how I think Moses Moody is going to be an X factor for the Warriors this season and how I think he's, obviously underrated. But let's dive into why this extension obviously makes sense from a statistics standpoint and from an eye test standpoint. Shout out to StatMuse because this is where I got this chart from. So they had a shot chart of Moses Moody's shots throughout his career. Now, of course, Moses Moody has not had consistent playing time since he entered the league, especially, early on. Last year, it still wasn't super consistent, but obviously compared to his rookie season or his second year, it was better. In my opinion, I feel like these numbers would potentially even go up more, but let's dive into them. So we'll start over here. I didn't want to block the picture, obviously. So this is from inside the paint. His field goal percentage is 62.4%, and this is compared to the league average. So the league average is 59.8%. But like I said, he hasn't had consistent playing time throughout his career. So I feel like this number could go up even more because I feel like he's an efficient player. But even still, with his limited, minutes and shot attempts, he is above league average. So now we know he can finish in the paint, right? Let's keep going. Over here from 3, he's 37%. Again, above league average, which is 35.7%. Now let's go to the top of the key. 40.8%. Look at the league average, 34.8%. At the top of the key, he's actually pretty way above league average here. And I've been saying for a while, and it's not like I was the one to discover it, but I've always said Moses Moody is a very good three-point shooter. He just hasn't had enough attempts. Like, I feel like he could literally shoot well over 40% this season and, future seasons. Like, he could even shoot potentially 45% from 3 on a decent amount of attempts. Like, I'm not saying he's going to shoot 15 threes per game, but I don't think he's going to shoot 45% on only 2 threes per game, let's say. Like, I think he could get that number on like 6 or 7. Now, what's actually kind of ironic or funny in a way is that in the corners, you'll see the other corner as well, he is below league average. And why that's kind of funny is that the corners are the shortest on the court, rather the shortest to shoot a 3. Like, that's why a lot of players, not a lot of players, but some players like PJ Tucker, we know he used to be like the corner specialist because it is the shortest distance from for a 3 rather than like the top of the key, for example. And obviously if it's closer, it should be easier, which is why certain players, can shoot in the corner a very high percentage because it is the shortest. So it's just funny that Moses Moody, when it's supposed to be the easier shot, it's actually harder for him. You could see in the other corner, again, 29.5%, about 30%. League average is 39%, close to 40. So again, I feel like with more reps, he'll make more of them. I don't think it's really an issue. Like, I don't think it's something we should look at and be like, Moses Moody can't shoot a 3. But I'm just saying it is kind of ironic that like the shortest 3 is actually the hardest for him. But again, I really don't think it's actually an issue. I also saw this chart. I don't know who made this, so I apologize, but I saw it online. So shout out to whoever made this chart because I feel like it also gives us some more insight into how good Moses Moody has actually been in his limited minutes. So it kind of reflects also what I was showing you in the shot chart from StatMuse, is that you could see in the restricted area, he shoots 27% of the time, at least based on these numbers. I'm assuming that these numbers are all his shots in his career. I think that's what it is. 27% of his shots have come in the restricted area, and his true shooting percentage is 74% in that area. That is a crazy good number, especially for a guard, because guards tend to, like, I'll give you an example. His teammate Steph Curry has a very, very good shooting percentage, like field goal percentage, but also like true shooting percentage in the paint. I forgot what the number was, but it was maybe 2 years ago or something. He was shooting like top 3 in the league, like true shooting percentage in the paint at the time. And I forgot how that season ended. But the point is, Steph Curry, we know, can finish around the rim, very good in the paint. Well, 74% true shooting percentage is a very good number. Actually, I don't even have to say anything. You could see it right there. The league average is 69%. So I didn't even have to explain that. You could see it right there. He's above league average, even in his limited attempts. And even with his corner three, which was obviously below average for the league standard and his standards, his true shooting percentage is still 55%, and the league average is 58%. So even despite that, he's not that far behind. Like I said, he will fix that with the more attempts he gets. And so those are his statistics. And those are all reasons as to why he definitely deserves more minutes and why he will get more minutes. But now eye test, if you watch preseason, you know that he was one of the best, if not their best, potentially player overall in preseason. Remember I said I feel like he could shoot over 40% from three, maybe even 45% on like 6 attempts? Well, in preseason, in 20 minutes per game, he averaged 15.5 points, but he shot 39.4% from three on 5.5 attempts. So he was close to 6 attempts, like I said, and almost shot 40%. And again, the more reps he gets, the more in rhythm he gets, the higher I think those numbers will go. It's not just offense, defense. I've been saying it for a while. I always thought Moses Moody was a very good defender, smart, makes timely plays, timely steals. Like, he just knows where to be at the right time. And I think you're going to see more of it this season, especially because he's going to get more playing time. And you're going to see how Moses Moody can really be a two-way player. But listen to what Moses Moody had to say in a press conference a few days ago, because I was talking about how it's clear that Moses Moody wants to play and he's putting in the work, because it shows every single time he shows up on the court. Every season you see progression.
Your main focus coming into camp, did you have a specific goal, anything that you wanted to get accomplished this year?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't play as much as I wanted to last year, so I obviously wasn't in the place to where I needed to be. So over the summer, like I've been saying, just put a lot of work.
So as you heard in that clip, he's talking about how he has been putting in the work, you know, in the off season to get better. And like I said, it shows. Moses Moody is the type of player that every team in the league should want and needs on their team. I'm very happy that he got the extension with the Warriors. I feel like it's very well deserved. And I really, really am excited to see him play not only a consistent role this season, but a bigger role and just like have such a big impact on the team, because I feel like he really could have that. Like I said in the video where I talked about Moses Moody and Kuminga being 2 X factors for the Warriors this year, like I said, it's clear that Kuminga is going to be more of a focal point on offense. So like Kuminga's points per game probably and should be higher than Moses Moody's. And so I don't think we should judge it off that, because I do think Kuminga is going to get more touches in that sense, or just, you know, it's a different setup. But Moses Moody is going to have so much impact offensively, defensively, and like I said in that video, things that don't show up in the box score, the deflections he gets, the times that he comes over for a double team and helps get a steal, but doesn't get credit for the steal because his teammate is the one who, you know, knocked it out of whoever player it is hands, but Moses Moody is the one who came over smartly to double team, to trap. So I'm saying there are so many things that he does that are not going to show up in the box score, but it will help the team win. Congratulations on your extension, Moses Moody. It was well deserved, well earned, and like I said, I cannot wait to see him have a big consistent role this season and just have such an impact on winning.